this episode, we will talk about influence. How we got influenced as a child, as adults, and how we got influenced through social media. And in the last part of this episode, we will talk about how it is to make the podcast if we are proud of ourselves doing the podcast or what we don't like about it. So stay tuned for this episode.
So, what has influenced us as a child? I would say this category is quite interesting because when we were younger, we weren't self conscious and also had not access to everything. So, I would say it was kind of random what influenced us in a way. What was airing at TV at this time slot, or what DVDs we had at home if you're a giga boomer like me. Because when I was young, I couldn't go to the store and buy a DVD that I wanted to watch or buy a book that I wanted to watch because my parents would drive me, I had no money and stuff. So I was not that dependent. But there are obviously some big things which influenced children in my generation. The biggest one, Lord of the Rings. Then Harry Potter, also a big one, and Star Wars. And because of that, I wonder why fantasy is one of my favorite genre. Who knows? Who knows? Did you also watch those as a youngling, or no wonder the guy doesn't like fantasy? Quite surprising. Cause watching Lord of the Rings as a child is the best thing. It's so epic. It's still epic to this day. It is. There are battles and wars, big monsters. 80% of it is boring as a child, the hiking stuff and the plot. But when the war comes, like in the second part, at the end in Helm's Deep or the Minas Tirith one, part 3, oh boy, I was locked in as a child. Everything else was fast forwarded and skipped, just the battle. Swords clashing. Then what shows did you watch as a child or movies? That one I actually did not watch. Yes. It, I just watched the normal movies. Yes. If you don't have any shows, you can also talk about games that you played. Because there are, I would say for me, there are some games who shaped my interest a lot. The early Nintendo nostalgia got you. When I was a youngling, I played a lot of RTSs. And specifically, a lot of RTSs who had a bit of historical coding. Age of Empires and Age of Mythology, to a certain extent, has also a historical setting, even though it's a fantasy setting. And combined with that, I had a CD back in the days, which I was listening to while falling asleep with Greek mythos. And because of those things, I study now history, because I found history was giga cool because of that. So those things has had a big influence on my personality, I would say, on my way of life, because I study it now. Do you have something similar, or when I was outside with my friends, we sawed out some sticks and tried to beat each other up because we were simulating sword fights. We were going into woods and fighting constantly. Not in a way that we hurt ourselves, but it was fun. But I also played football when I was a youngling. I was a goalkeeper back then. Elementary school or grade school. I had a similar thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I knew it was an anime, but a lot of people in my friend group played Yu-Gi-Oh! And had Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. It was also a strong connection to anime and trading card games and doing stuff with friends. Because I would say nowadays, doing stuff with your friends is kinda outdated. Because people have their smartphones, they can play Fortnite together. Back in the day, we went outside, played football, beat each other up with sticks. We met at someone's house and played Yu-Gi-Oh! Together. We were doing stuff, which was nice, I would say. So yes, I think we picked out a good period for our childhood, I would say. And friends are also a good thing because friends can influence you in a bad or in a good way. And I would say I was lucky to have a good friend group. Not that much negative influences, which is nice. Do you still have friends from your childhood, or are they all gone? Nice. I've one old friend as well from kindergarten times. Those friendships are really valuable if they hold out for this long. Yes, yes. And now to get to the anime stuff, because friendship is a good word. We both watch anime when we were younglings. How do you think watching anime did influence you? I would say the power of friendship is quite an interesting term, because nowadays we clown on it. But when you are a child, I would say it's actually good to watch shows that have a power of friendship. Like One Piece is a good example, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Fairy Tail, stuff that was airing when we were young. Dragon Ball, Inuyasha, all of those shows where friendship is important. Digimon as well, Pokemon. For your for your values and dreams, you also learned it. Oh, sorry, go on. Yes, that's also one point where I wanted to make that influence to see how the stuff that we do actually influences us because in our normal day-to-day lives, I rarely think about stuff that influenced me when I was young. I just think about the recent stuff that shaped my character. Another thing that anime can teach you is not to give up and be persistent. Because most shonen MCs are persistent and continue fighting even though they have bad times. Or when you have a bad time, they struggle through it and push through it, mostly with their friends, which is great. Then What shows did you watch when you were young, and what were your favorites? And do you still like them today? You said Sailor Moon, but are there any other? I see, I see. Yes. I mean, you still like Pokemon to this day. You even buy the cards and gamble. Yes. I watched in Germany, it was called Pokito on the TV station RTL2. When I was coming back after grade school, all of the animes were airing. One Piece, Naruto, Inuyasha, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dragon Ball, all of the goated shit. Except Bleach. We did not have that when we were younglings in Germany. Which is why the big three in Germany is. It's not the big three because of that. At least for my generation. Because a lot of people did not watch Bleach as a child or did not knew it existed even back then. But watching anime after school back in the day was probably the best feeling. And then after watching anime, it changed for gaming after school. When I started playing LOL. When I was at high school level. Every day after school, homework, nah. Get on Summoner's Rift right now. For boys. Those are some good times. Because that's the strength of online games to also grow friendships and play online together with your friends. Are there any other things you would say that you've learned through anime, games, or movies in your early childhood, or how they shaped your interests? If not, we can go to the section where we talk about what influenced us as grown ups. If you don't have anything else. You're getting old. It's quite a long time ago. Loyal. I mean, Naruto back in the day was the enemy. When we were children, it was not possible to like multiple things. We need to be in stance. Just like people who will defend one show online. I don't see the way of, oh, it's fine if you watch all of the big three. None of them is better than the other. All of them are enjoyable and fun to watch. But no, we need to literally defend our champion. Then a big thing that influenced me when I was older was the first manga that put me into buying manga. Do you remember what it is? I talked about it once already. Nope. It was JJK. Because I wanted to know how the anime continued. And while doing research, I also bought Chainsaw Man because I heard it was very similar in Spy Family as well. Those were the beginnings. So JJK, even though I don't like it nowadays, it had a big influence on my life currently. Because imagine if would not have watched JJK, then maybe I wouldn't be a manga collector today. So even though something that you don't like can have a positive influence on you. Some sometimes perspectives change. Back in the day, I was also an anime only. Now I'm basically a manga only. That can also be an influence. And which show drew you into the anime world? Do you remember what it was and why did it draw you in? So a Guna show. I see. Sometimes it's okay to be biased. Bro, watch the first episode and had an awakening cover. Back in the day, back in the day, I was watching stuff on YouTube with English dub when it was available, where half of the screen was some background, so that the YouTube system did not find it. Because back then we were broke and couldn't afford Crunchy as younglings. Yeah, or some other sites. Whatever was available at the time. Then, do you have any animes that you've watched while being adult that influenced your way of life, your way of thinking, or that reinforced something in you? Yes. What I think good about Luffy is that Luffy goes fairly neutral in most arcs. And then after getting to know the people and getting to see the situation, then he decides and is becoming more active. He's not a straight up good protagonist. He just decides after meeting certain people and then decides that it's right to do this and that. Yes, that's what I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to go, that's right. Because defending stuff blindly because of your beliefs is mostly right, but it can be very toxic. If you just literally defend everything blindly without actually analyzing what you're talking about or looking at what you're talking about. That's a good thing. And for me, in terms of values, there's an obvious thing. We all knew that this was coming. It's Vinland Saga, to no one's surprise. Because Vinland Saga tells you that that you don't have enemies. Because when we were young, all of us had enemies. Every game I had one enemy. It was French people. Whenever we were playing League and someone's writing French in the game chat, we were French. And we were spamming Baguette and insulting them because all of the French League players were utter dog shit. But nowadays it's more chill. We have matured in that sense. And I think Vinland Saga helped it a bit. It's also nice that you learn how to solve conflicts with words and not with fists. That's also very important. So Vinland Saga, a massive W. And another important thing which influenced me is One Piece actually. It's the famous Nobeda scene when people die. Because when my grandma died, I was very sad a few years ago. But because of that scene, I think that she's still with me. Because I remembered what I see as a child. So I would say also a positive influence for One Piece. Do you have another example? Then I have one more thing. When we read or watch stuff about our hobbies, it kind of also influences us, or our hobby influences what we like. Like you like Blue Lock because you play football. I like historical manga because I study history. You're interested in sciences. You like Dr. Stone and stuff. I think that also can influence you to see your hobby or things that you like represented in a certain series or in a certain way, which is which is also quite nice, I would say. And also, what I learned through manga is how to collect and cherish something actually. Because when you have a collection, you need to cherish it, and every manga has its worth, which is nice in a collection. And I also learned through that it's nice that to have money, and it feels nice to spend money, but spend responsible. Because when I started buying manga, I bought a lot of shit that I did not need, or I bought way too much. And nowadays, I still buy too much, but it's more tame and calculated. So in a sense, I also learned how to be responsible with money and calculate it, to not get into the minus. Because I won't go into debt just to read manga. That would be stupid. So if I want to read something, I need to save and be a responsible adult. Wait a few months until I have the money. That's quite simple. And with if you don't have anything else, we can go to social media if you want.
So for social media, I have to say, in when I was still a newbie into the anime world, I sometimes got anime stuff on my Insta For You page, and it was always some kind of clips or memes. And then I decided to add them to my anime list that I just recently made. Um, and then they are they were on my anime list. They are still to this day animes that I added to this list a few years ago, and they are still up there. And I never watched them, sadly.
They are trapped in
But
the limbo.
yeah, someday they will get their glory.
Yes, the same goes
Yes.
for me when I see a cool panel online or a cool manga cover. Then I note that series in my head as interesting, or at least check out if it's available on Amazon and do some further research.
Mm,
Because just one moment when you see something online then can spark your interest and then you do more research.
yes.
Because nowadays it's quite easy to get influenced by social media because most of the things are presented in a very aesthetic way. And I think that's a great upside that anime and manga has, because both are visual media. And when you, for example, post a very good looking manga panel, it will draw the interest of the people because they think, what's that manga panel? It looks really good. Where's it from? And then they
Mm,
see the series and think to themselves, oh, maybe I read that. And then they are already influenced by social media quite fast. The same goes for ads. Also, for example, I will go traveling this year, and I bought myself a new backpack and traveling bag. And I bought them because of ads online. Because I saw this backpack once on Insta and thought to myself, oh, this looks interesting. And after that, every day saw the goddamn thing and got basically bullied into buying it.
mm,
I mean, I like the
yeah,
backpack, it's really cool. I use it when I go to uni every day now, but you see how fast that can go.
yeah,
Same goes if you basically see a Demon Slayer clip every day because the movie's airing and everyone's talking about it. Then you're kind of
yes,
forced to watch it because you're getting bombarded with it. And then you get FOMO. Do you know what FOMO is?
Yeah, I do.
It's fear of missing out.
Mm.
And the problem is, on social media, everything is so fast, and with that, the FOMO is so high. You need to watch
Yeah.
that now. You need to read that now. I need to buy the manga now, before it's out of print. Everything needs to be done now, because now people are talking about it, and I want to be part of the talk. But that's meh. Just read it or watch it whenever you like it, when you have time. Don't pressure yourself. Because that's also an anti-learning that I've learned from social media. To not give in into the mechanisms of social media and be relaxed and do stuff at my own pace.
Hmm.
Are you more of a guy who falls into the social media things, or do your stuff at your own pace as well?
I sometimes do. It was um it was more when I was younger, a few years ago, but nowadays it's not this deep, I would say.
Yes. That's also a thing that freedom taught me to do stuff more at my own pace a bit and treasure every moment instead of just
Mm.
going to the next hype thing and sprinting through everything,
Yes.
which is nice. Do you often go to social media for recommendations or to research stuff or to get influence, or do you just go there to be entertained?
I just go there to be entertained. It was earlier again, it was to get some recommendations, but now it's just to get entertained. Sometimes I stumble across a recommendation, but yeah, mostly I watch stuff about shows that are currently airing, so I can relate to them.
For me, I would say it's a 50-50 split between research and entertainment, or more like a 30-70 split with entertainment and research. For entertainment stuff, I do the most boomer thing. I watch dog videos at times because they are funny. And for research, I have my Insta basically just to follow all of the manga publishers to know what is getting released when and to get the announcements. And recently, I
He
watched
doesn't
it.
even
Also, gone.
he
Damn it.
doesn't even follow me on Insta.
I follow nobody besides the manga publishers. I don't even follow the family. That account is just for research. And the other thing that I'm currently researching is traveling
Mhm.
to see where you can go, find some tricks and tips and stuff. Like for example, when I'm going to Austria, I want to go to the mountains, and I want seeing the mountains in the real is kind of nice because you see how it is on top of said mountain.
Yes.
Or you can find out some routes or some tricks. For example, this is a German thing. In Germany, you have a Deutschland ticket where you can use every regional train with said ticket, and both of us have that as uni students. But I
Mhm.
recently learned on Insta there are a few trains from Germany to other countries where you can also use the Deutschland ticket.
Crazy.
For example, I can go to Munich from Munich to Salzburg, which is actually my first step on my Austria journey with a Deutschland ticket. So that saved me like 20 bucks that Insta Reel. W.
Mhm.
So you can research some things on Insta or be degenerate and scroll. Both is possible.
Yeah. Mhm. It's um yes. So when I was younger, I was scrolling on Insta, and I would say like maybe 1 out of 10 or more was something about anime. So it was quite rare. Nowadays, um it's like 5 out of 10 or more. So I really did my stuff and flooded my For You page with anime stuff.
It's also the algorithms got way smarter after we're coming off TikTok.
Mm. Yes.
They are way more precise in finding out your tastes nowadays.
Mm.
Like again with the bag situation, I watched the ad for the backpack, bought it, and after that, a lot of traveling content flooded me.
Mm.
Same goes for manga. I follow the manga publishers, and then I see what they're releasing when people are buying said manga that are released. Yada yada yada.
Y-
You know better than your social media work because you use it more, be it you or the
yes.
listeners.
Mm.
Do you also have an example where social media influenced you either in a positive or negative way? On top of your head.
Um, for example, an opinion about anime. I copy pasted it when I was younger and still new into anime. Um, yeah, I copied opinions very quickly.
Ah, yes, classic. Yes, when you're
Mm.
new and getting into it, there are certain things, be it anime or manga, that seem like a must watch at first. I mean, for manga, we have the Holy Trinity Berserk, Vinland Saga, and Vagabond. And some people suggest that if you don't read those manga, you are not a manga fan.
Mm.
There are also some anime where the same is suggested. If you don't watch them, you are not a fan.
Yes,
But I think that's dumb. That's the worst influence. Just say
it is.
why you like the series and why you think others will like the series, and then you can hype it even. But don't make absolute statements. Don't be an elitist.
Mm.
Even though I behave also sometimes like an elitist, but in the end, I don't care what people watch or read. I'm just happy that they watch and read stuff and we have the same hobby.
Mm.
Even though sometimes it doesn't sound like this. For example, when I shit on Demon Slayer, just throw memes in the podcast.
Mm.
And with influence, I also want to talk about the language that we use nowadays on social media because there are just three words which are always used: hype, mid, and trash. Peak, mid, and
Yes.
trash, not hype.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
the problem is, everyone calls something else peak. So everything, by that definition, is peak. If someone calls it peak. And with that logic, everything is mid. Because everything is the same. That's. I think we are just overusing words like peak and goated. I do that
Mm.
as well. I probably did that as well in my recent top 50 list, but well, we need to get a more broader language on social media. But we can't get that.
Definitely.
Can't that while the algorithm wants those words. Now you can go on. Sorry, I interrupted you beforehand.
Uh, oh yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say.
Perfect,
Um,
perfect.
the Zoomer brain strikes again.
And with stuff that the algorithm wants, there's also something which is negative about social media. Sometimes you are not doing content that you like or content reflects yourself. You're just doing stuff that the algo wants to have those
Mm.
clicks, to have like the money, the fame, and stuff.
Yes.
Because for some influencers, you see that they are fake. For example, when they use a lot of AI slop, when you see that the review from them is written by AI, or when they just copied someone's opinion and then saying it even though it's not their own opinion. Because you probably also watch some people who say, "Ooh, I like this and this show," but then you thought to yourself, "Okay, if I ask him one fact about this show, if he knows that, well, he would not know this fact, and then I would prove him as a fake fan." Because if you don't know basic facts about the show that you like, then are you really a fan?
Yes. Oh, the honk got me.
Like for example, if I ask someone who says he's a Demon Slayer fan, and I ask you, okay, then how is this Hashira called? And then the guy is, I don't know. Then I think maybe the guy just either he doesn't know and is into it, or he is just a fan to be popular on social media and go with the flow. Stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah.
A great example for that is Logan Paul. How did he call Luffy again? Luffy the monkey. Bruh.
Mm.
That's fraudulent. But now we bashed a lot of social media and talked a lot about how we consume stuff. But now I would
Yes.
say we come to the interesting part in this episode. Because recently we are not only consumers, we are also creators with our little podcast and the shorts.
Mm.
And now we can reflect about how it is to be a creator and how it is to do content. And if we fall into the same pitfalls that we've criticized before, then what do you say? Do you think we or you are doing a good job as a creator? And what did you learn from being a creator?
I don't want to answer if I'm being a good creator. um, I
Then let me
I want.
rephrase it. Are you satisfied with? Do you have fun while being a creator? Are you satisfied with creating content and stuff? I think that's a better way.
D- yes, there I can agree with because it makes fun. But what's not fun is always get an idea to make stuff and be creative. That's not my type. I want to be straightforward about stuff and not think stuff out of my head. I'm not built for this. It's very tough sometimes.
I have found
Um,
a rather good solution recently. I just get some quick inspiration. Like when I see something online or when I read something or play something, and then at times there comes a quick idea, and that idea is safe because the most spontaneous ideas at times can be the best ones.
mm,
Because then you don't start overthinking. Like for example, in the recent shot, yes, it did not perform, but I saw that some people are pointing out that Rike from Witcher Atelier looks like the daughter of Himmel and Frieren, basically. And I thought to myself, oh yes, I see a bit of similarities there and made a short about it. Quick and
mm,
effective. Yes, it did not
yes,
perform, but it's about a creative process, not about the result.
it is.
So maybe you can test that out.
Yeah, sometimes I do have ideas actually, and then I try to write them down or maybe already directly go into recording.
Yes, that's probably the best thing. If you have an idea, do it as fast as you can before you forget it.
Hmm. But it's mostly at 3 a.m. or something in the night where the best ideas come from.
Happens.
Just the spontaneous energy outburst. Everybody knows it.
Yes. And you knew that question was coming. Are you satisfied with your output of content? Or do you think you can do more? You knew that
Yeah.
was coming.
Yes, I knew it. Um, I don't no commento.
Yes, but
Yes,
what
I
I feel.
know
Oh, sorry, God.
I can I know I can do a lot more stuff, but sometimes I'm just too lazy sometimes to record, then cut, and then press upload, write the title, description, text. It's a pain. Wenn du
Yes.
kleiner.
A great example is last podcast episode in the second part when oopsie happened. Yes.
Yes.
But the way I wanted to go, I did not want to front you. I wanted to go to the part is when you see content from the outside, you just see it and consume it. But when you're doing it, you see that I would not say that the content that we are doing is hard work, but you need to do have at least a rhythm when you do stuff. You need an idea, and then you need to be able to technically put your idea into a video.
Mm,
That can take a bit of time and effort at times, depending on what you want to do.
yes.
And I would say we both
That's
lacked in the effort part because we are both doing just the most simplest of content. No fancy
yes.
animations, no fancy transitions and stuff.
Mm. I sometimes wanted to learn it, but then I threw it out away like after a few minutes. Um, yes, but that's why I started the Romance Connoisseur raid stuff because it's easy. I can just give my opinion about romance anime, and I have easy content for a day.
Just you basically have a rhythm when you do stuff.
Yes, every Friday a new romance rating is out.
Because what I also learned, that's kind of nice that you have a rhythm where you need to do stuff for myself to be able to finish stuff. Because if I don't
Mm,
have a rhythm, like uploading like every 2 or 3 days, then it will not work for me. I need to have a bit of consistency
yes, I
because
get it.
I will procrastinate otherwise. That's why since we do the uploads, I try to upload twice a week shorts to have a bit
Mm,
of a rhythm. Because
sometimes
uploading,
even,
there's sometimes more of ideas are there.
yeah.
I think it's better to start low and achieve higher than the other way around.
Mm,
Because I would be kind of angry at myself if I did not have idea for 3 shorts a week. But when my goal is to make two, and then I publish three because I had 3 ideas, then I'm a bit more happy, if you know what I
yes,
mean.
yes, I get it.
The glass is half full, not half empty.
Mm. Yeah, but it's always nice if you get a good response from viewers, and yeah, that's what feels good. If it gets a few views because you know someone watched stuff that you made, that's a nice feeling.
Yes. What's also kind of fun for me the last weeks is making, or last months making thumbnails. I kind of like those. If you have a good
Yes,
thumbnail, if you have a topic for it, and then arranging everything, that's also fun, I would say.
yeah, and you can clearly see the differences in our styles.
Yes, I have more so
My,
topic, and the guy is using, well, he can say it himself.
I'm using aesthetic. Hmm.
No, you're
Because
not.
everything needs to look clean. Most of the time. Sometimes I'm just shitting on it and then I call it a day. But most of the times I try to be aesthetic, like make it as eye-pleasing as possible.
Even though he puts in some random images from shows that are not in the episode, where the thumbnail basically failed conveying what will happen in the episode.
Mm, yes.
Then, what do you think are some aspects that you don't like about content, or are negative things that you've learned, or negative sides about yourself as well that you've learned through
Um,
making content?
I learned that I'm lazy. I mean, I knew that, but learned that I'm also not that creative, and it's yeah. I also learned that it's tough to stay stay stage stayed I don't know uh, yeah I don't know uh,
Well, he
but
lost it.
Yes, I lost it. I lost the
If
point.
you don't have any negatives, you can talk about the positives.
The positive is that I actually can yap a lot. Like a few episodes ago, I yapped a lot, and that's new for me because I I'm more of the quiet type. I like to listen a lot. That's why the boomer gets most of the um yeah, you talk a lot normally,
Of a
but
speaking time.
yeah, but sometimes I do talk a lot if I'm in the mood and the stars are aligned and I don't know, it's very rare that I'm talking a lot, but I sometimes do.
I think compared to
But
the beginning, we can see a great progress. Like if we go back to
yes.
the early episodes, you had like 20 or maximum 30% speaking time. And now I would say
Mm.
it's not 50-50, but it's 40-60, I would say.
Yeah, I agree to that. But it's fine like this because you yap a lot and I listen to you and it's fine like this.
I naturally talk more because I know the stuff that you are talking about, but you don't know most of the manga that I talk about. At least the manga that don't have an anime.
Yes.
That's a problem that it's hard to solve.
Mm.
That's a big problem. But it is what it is.
Yes.
And with talking, the thing that I also learned, I was dog shit at holding presentations in uni because I was stumbling upon words and stuff. But nowadays, I would
Mm.
say because of a podcast, I became a bit better at it, which is a W.
Yes. Yeah, it's also I got better at speaking English because I got more confidence nowadays. In the early episodes, it was very, very rough, and now I'm speaking completely normal. I'm speaking fluent, and yeah, it happens that I forgot words or something,
Or have a wrong
but
word order.
yes, but it doesn't happen that much anymore.
Yes, because like I can, for example, read English fluent. I need for uni, and I would say a third of my manga collection, or even half, is in English. And most of the novels I read are English. So I'd say reading is easy and understanding is also easy. But
Mm,
speaking is kind of hard because in Germany, why would I need to speak English?
yeah.
And because of that, there's no practice. And without practice, how can I get better? Or how can I keep my level or improve it?
Mm,
That's also a nice thing.
yes.
What I've
Yeah, but
also.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah,
I
go on,
have
go on,
another
go
point.
on.
What I've
Yes.
also learned, I had that a bit in uni, but I got a bit more forgiving for inconsistencies when you are doing a group project. Let's say it like that.
Mm,
Because there are times in uni when you have a doofus in a group project.
yes.
And I think most of the stuff in the podcast is working unless this guy wants to reschedule randomly without reason. But doing this makes me more forgiving. And because of that, maybe I will be more chilled when I have group projects in my later work or stuff like that. Because I had also the experiences here. Who knows? Future will tell.
Mm,
Future will tell.
yes.
But this is background stuff and will stay background stuff.
Mm, yes. So I don't have anything else to add.
Maybe with that we can close the episode.
Yes.
Then, to make a closing statement, do you have fun making a podcast or shorts? Or do you think to yourself, ah, it was fun for a bit, but now it's kinda eh? What's your
Um,
resume?
yes, my resume is I do have fun making the podcast, but what I don't like is the cutting after it. It's like spoils to always get the pictures and stuff. I have to find a way to make it easier to. Um, but sometimes before recording, I'm like, ah, I don't want to record. But if I'm in the episode, it's really fun, and I really enjoy making the podcast with you.
Yes, at times
Uh,
it's just like when you have a presentation to you think to yourself, yeah, I don't want to, but when you're in the flow, you forgot it.
yes, so that's what my resume is about.
Yes, for me, I do it just for fun and talking to a friend, basically. I don't care about the numbers. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
happy if the numbers are not zero, but
Yes,
I'm not that hyped if the numbers are a bit higher than the last one. It's just for
hmm.
fun, and doing stuff with a friend is the main selling point. Not getting rich or famous. I
Yes,
think we have to be honest for that, we don't put nearly enough effort in. If you want to
yes,
do that effectively, podcast needs to be cut better and basically 2 shorts a day at minimum, even more. You need to do the floodgates thread to open the
yeah,
floodgates.
hmm.
And both of us are too lazy for that, so it's just a friend project.
It
It is
is.
what it is. Next week will be recap. Quite simple.
Yes.
If you don't have anything else. You will
Nope.
probably
So
lap a lot because spring season is ending next week, right? Or a lot of shows are ending next week.
yeah, a lot of yapping will um let you guys next episode. ReZero is a big talking point next week, so stay tuned for the next episode.
Then see you next week. Bye.
Until then, bye.